Good morning, my friends. We're live on Cubcam TV. This is Brekky In The Cave. Hope everyone is feeling okay this morning. It's been a heavy weekend. Very emotional weekend. So we're going to bring you some good energies and good flavors this morning. Gonna let you know exactly what's going out in just a second. This one coming from Link Hustle. This one, Real.
Did you lie all the time that you said I will be your wife? Did you stay? Promise me you were done, you would walk away. Was it worth? Always put me last and I always put you first. Was it real? I know she don't make you feel how I make you feel. Did you lie all the time that you said I would be your wife? Did you stay? Promise me you were done, you would walk away. Was it worth? Always put me last and I always put you first.
Yo, Link? Damn, bro. She's just a homie I can never skip. I love my girl way too much.
I can only be mad at myself. Always knew you had someone else, but I thought all the jewels, all the bags, all the shoes, you showing me how you felt. How could I ever take you serious? Looking back at it, the shit's hilarious. I guess you tried to play with me. Yeah, I guess you had your way with me. Was it real? I know she don't make you feel how I make you feel. Did you lie all the time that you said I will be your wife?
Out to the early morning locked in crew, of course. Thank you for joining us. We're live on Cubcam TV. Hit the big 350 over the weekend. I think we're now approaching 360. So the aim is 500 by the end of lockdown. No matter how much or little sleep we get, that's still the aim. And I need to wake up and get into my entertainment bag.
Did you stay? Promise me you were done, you would walk away. Was it worth? Always put me last and I always put you first.
Right then, friends, we are live on Cubcam TV. How are we doing this morning? That one there coming from Ling Hustle, track entitled Real, off her brand new mixtape project. Really, really cool tune and a good way to start us off this morning. As I said before, it's been a very heavy weekend. We're seeing a lot going on around the world. We've seen a lot of very evident injustice. We've seen a lot of very disturbing scenes. And I think we're all very much in agreement that this is something that has been bubbling up for a while, and it's something that is going to be carrying on for the foreseeable future in regards to the riots and protests that are taking place around the world at this point. So I think more than anything else, to make sure that we are standing and speaking out and saying as much as possible is the very least that we can do, especially as someone like myself who is a white person who works in and around in and around UK and black culture and black music as a guest. And that's the thing that people need to understand. The majority of us are privileged guests, and to say nothing and to not speak out at all is just not fair. And to be honest with you, I've had enough of it. So yeah, what we're going to be doing is, of course, continuing the show as normal. We will be taking tomorrow off as part of the Tuesday music industry blackout. We've loaded all the shows that were supposed to take, all the guests, that were supposed to be on the show on Tuesday onto Wednesday. So we will be taking the day off tomorrow to show solidarity with the Tuesday blackout movement. As well as that, the best thing to do, I'd say, would be to head over to my Twitter feed. That's where I'm sharing the majority of the stuff. You can also head over to the South Point website as well. We've got a big list of stuff on there in how you can sign petitions or donate to the different funds that are taking place. Obviously, for all the stuff involving George Floyd and all of the donations and different things that you can do to get involved at that side. Also, all the petitions in regards to getting justice for George Floyd, which is one of the main things that needs to happen in regards to this whole situation. So there we go. I haven't really planned the speech this morning. It's something I just felt I need to speak on very, very briefly. It's very, very clear and obvious that this is it can't go on any longer, and we're beyond the point where you could just say it's not even excusable. We've been beyond that point for years and years and years. We've never really ever got beyond that point. So it's it's just important to say stuff, you know what I mean? As you can probably tell, this isn't a planned speech, and I'm trying to say things that I'm trying to make sure I'm saying things the right way. I've probably messed that up entirely in the way that I want to say things, but there we go. Let's crack on with the show. What we're going to be looking at today as we move forward and move into different topics of conversation, we're going to be looking at GRM Daily's top 15 best lockdown Instagram live moments. We have obviously seen a massive flurry in Instagram live moments and different live streams, different clashes, different people doing different things, and it's been very interesting to see. So we're going to be looking through the 15 best that have happened in and around underground music and again around black music and culture, because that's what we are guests in, and I want to hammer that home today. We are guests in this culture, and to not even mention it, the thing is, I'm seeing a lot of people not even mention that as a fact, and that to me is just bizarre. I don't really understand it. So we're also going to be looking at the fact that Zoom will basically be cutting users off if they do not update the systems before May the 30th, which was I believe a couple of days ago. So there we go. If you haven't updated your system, you probably won't be able to get back into Zoom. As well as that, we're going to be taking a look at a virtual dance music festival that is taking place in Minecraft. There we go. It's all going very weird this morning. Let's have a look at our guest then. We are going to be joined by a man like XP. He will be joining us from around 11:45. We're going to be talking to him about the brand new album. We're going to be looking at a bit of history from him as well, his sort of roots into music and how he got to where he is now. Obviously living in London, we're going to be talking about the move down and how he found that, and then of course running an exclusive album doing a live listening party to his Better Late Than Never project. It was meant to be out today, but there's been a couple of issues with distribution as far as I'm aware, and because of that, the release has been pushed back, I believe, to the end of this month. So we're going to be talking to him about a couple of bits involving that as well. So let's keep the good vibes rolling. This next one, Movement and Baloo, brand new from us at South Point. Really looking forward to getting into this one. So don't go anywhere. Sounds of Movement and Baloo on this one. Peach Gardens, this one is out now, courtesy of South Point. Dropped on Friday. Out to everyone supporting this one nice and early. Fresh UKG here on Cubcam TV. Oh yes. Locked in crew, let us know where you're listening in from. Let's get some conversation going. The motto of this show, of course, is these are unsociable times, so let's keep things sociable on this wonderful thing we call the internet. In case you're wondering what I'm doing at the moment, up until about 10:15 every morning, my life is posting this link into different Facebook groups and different shows. You know, trying to let people know about what's going on. Hey, let me put that in your Facebook group. As I said before, this one coming from Movement and Baloo. Track entitled Peach Gardens. Awesome collaboration, this one. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope we're feeling okay. As I said before, it has been a heavy weekend emotionally and in a lot of different other ways as well. So thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to try and lift the vibe a bit. We're going to try and keep things nice and enjoyable as we move forward. We've obviously got loads of good new music to play. We've got loads of good things to talk about. So let's jump into our first topic of conversation this morning. Looking through this list, the GRM Daily Top 15 Moments of Instagram Live. So there's a couple of things. There's a lot of things on here, to be honest with you. Let's go down to the bottom and see where we start off with. Sway Lee is number 15, and that's Sway Lee gets into it with a fan during a quarantine concert. Okay, cool. So he played a quarantine concert. Fair enough. You have Lil Yachty during the quarantine, and he has a bit of a talent show. Interesting. You've got P Diddy with Drake and Drake hosting the world's biggest dance-a-thon on Instagram Live. You also had you had Drake and Diddy performing the Tootsie Slide live on IG Live. Fair enough. Steph London on IG Live also getting involved in a sort of talent show stream. You've also got from the looks of things, Fredo doing some kind of stream as well. I don't really remember that one, but we'll look at it in a sec. Nadia Rose doing what was Nadia Rose's? I'm trying to read through this. We've seen a lot of people dancing on Instagram left, right, and centre, but Nadia thought it was a good time for the men to step up and show some moves. Okay, so she did a thing of getting men to showcase dances. Okay, fair enough. That's cool. Bounty Killer vs Beanie Man is number 9. Should not be number 9. It should be at least in the top 5. Timbaland and Swiss Beats clashing as well. That was at number 8. Skepta versus J5 is at number 7. Gets performing around in different places in different areas of the garden by the looks of things. That's at number 6. You also had Chip on there, Chip versus Chipmunk, which is quite cool. Drake and Tory Lanez. Well, it's Tory Lanez' Instagram is on there. DJ Khaled, of course, is always going to be near the top on these things. Swarms at number 2. That does make sense. And then 6ix9ine appearing is the biggest event that has taken place. Now, I'm not going to disagree agree with the 6ix9ine thing being the major event that's taken place, because you couldn't get away from it when it first took place, when it first popped up. So you couldn't not see it, which was the maddest thing, the most bizarre thing. I was seeing it being restreamed live onto my Facebook feed. I didn't even know you could do that from Instagram, but there we go. Top 15 moments of IG Live. If there are any other big moments that we've missed, I'm reading that directly off a list on GRM Daily. So if there are any moments that I've missed, please do let me know in the chat. But let's crack on. Let's have a little look at another banger. Looking through the different tunes we heard, we're going to jump into this one because it's nice and smooth and melodic and soulful. This one comes from Mind Chatter, track entitled Language. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're live on Cubcam TV. This is Brekky In The Cave.
The second guess is dangerous. Tell it like it is. My kids should not know language. That shit is toxic. And it's not just what you're saying, it's the tone you put it in. The silence can be draining, the silence can be painful, the silence can be bliss. Probably just placebo, but still it works the same. Just one touch can equal everything I bled for and everything I made. I'm sorry, I'm excited. I get chills in my face. Whatever that you lose or you gain or you make, you're the moon that controls the waves. Some of us never have to change. Carried by the wind, it's a beautiful thing not to have an age. Carried by the wind, I swear it's like you don't carry your own age.
Lovely stuff on this one. Really, really cool tune coming from Mind Chatter. That one going by the name of Language. Out to all the locked-in crew this morning. We are keeping it nice and mellow, nice and chilled out, I think is a good thing to look at before we jump into this this conversation that's going to be coming later on with XP. Really looking forward to getting into it, to be honest with you. I'm very, very keen to see exactly what he's got going on and exactly how the albums come together as well, because I've been looking at the stuff he's been putting out over the past sort of couple of years. I've been looking forward to a big, full-length project, and to be honest, I haven't seen it yet. So there we go. We're in a very lucky position to be able to be one of the platforms that really can showcase exactly what's going down. I think he's been on Instagram Live a couple of times, but overall, I don't think he's actually been doing many interviews yet, because obviously the platform isn't out there yet. So we'll see. But let's have a look at this. Zoom will cut you off by May the 30th unless you update the app. Zoom has announced a new update that users will need to install to continue using the service. The Zoom 5.0 update is a security-focused latest update that adds extra encryption to the video conferencing app that has been indispensable since the start of lockdown. I mean, personally, I've used it 3 times, so I don't think it's indispensable. I think there are other platforms out there. I'd definitely say, however, that it is the top platform. It's the one that people have gravitated towards naturally the most. It's the most accessible platform by the looks of things. Crucially said, Zoom has said anyone not updated to the latest version will not be able to join any meetings. Beginning from May the 30th, 2020, all Zoom clients must be on 5.0 in order to join any meetings, as a GCM encryption will be fully enabled for all Zoom meetings. That's what the company wrote in a big blog post. 7.5 clients are also compatible with the current encryption used by Zoom meetings prior to May the 30th, but the Zoom 5.0 update was introduced back in April as part of a sweeping range of security updates for the company. So if you're someone who has recently downloaded Zoom, I'm assuming this won't be an issue for you, but if you have an older version of the program, the odds are you'll probably have to re-download it or download the update system. So there we go. There's a little bit of useful information for you all. But here you go. How to update the Zoom. It's very easy, apparently. What you need to do is literally just click. There's a click through link you can check on the Zoom Twitter. But I think there's literally a button on the if you click on your profile picture, you can literally scroll down to check for updates, and you can do it that way as well. So there we go. Very nice, simple way to keep things updated. And I like the fact that they're forcing these updates quite quickly. Now, a lot of people would say, maybe I don't want to update, but but the most important thing is that people are using the most up-to-date system, because if you're not necessarily using the most up-to-date system, then there are going to be security flaws. There are going to be issues at both ends, and I think it's quite, you have to be quite responsible, I think, with stuff like this, because data can be going flying everywhere, and at the end of the day, it's not just you that's involved in this. There are people at the other end of the conversations as well. So keeping your security updated on Zoom is very, very important. I believe anyway. I don't really use it, so yeah. Anyway, let's get into a new one, shall we? This one, a wicked remix from Lucence. This one is his 132 edit of the classic Hyph Mungo, coming from Joy Orbison originally, of course. Wicked tune, this one. We're going to get into this one now. Don't go anywhere, guys. We are live on Cubcam TV. This is Brekky in the Cave. Wicked tune, this one coming from Joy Orbison. This one is Lucent's 132 edit of Hive Mungo. You can tell it's a Monday. My voice is a madness. There we go. That's enough of that one. How are we doing this morning, my friends? Wicked, wicked tune. That one coming from a man like Lucent, his refix of Hive Mungo by Joy Orbison. I love hearing newer reworks of classic tunes. I think it's an amazing thing to kind of rework something that is already great and not ruin it. I think it's a very underrated talent, actually, in regards to music production, being able to reinvent something which is already great. And I think that's definitely something I'd like to see more of moving forward, especially from artists like Lucent, who are very kind of versatile and very able to move around different genres, and it not be a tear of destruction when it comes to ripping apart other people's tunes. You know, I think he's done a really good job on that one. Right, let's have a little look at this then. There is a virtual dance music festival which is set to take place in Minecraft next month. Very interesting stuff. A virtual festival, Electric Blockaloo. That's where we're at, people. That's where we're at. It's set to take place in the online game world of Minecraft next month. Presented by promoters Ray Family and taking place from the 25th through to the 28th of June, the online festival will feature over 300 DJs and live across over more than 40 different stages. In order to attend, fans will need to pay a cover fee to access the artist-curated Minecraft servers with exclusive streams as well as releases to the exclusive event. So far, stage hosts have been announced with artists and labels including Diplo, La Fleur, Toki Monster, you've got Nicole Modaba, you've got Unique, you've got Dirty Bird, you've got Anuja Beats, and more, all curating their own virtual stages. You can see the full poster below, and I'll tell you what, the full poster is pretty mad, considering this is something that's going to be based inside a virtual online world. We've seen it happen with Fortnite, we've seen it happen with other things as well, but the primary thing that we're seeing with this one is just how many people are involved. Obviously, with Fortnite, it's very, very clever how they do it. Obviously, they had the Travis Scott concert quite recently, they had Marshmello on as well, but the way they were able to do it and have every single server working at the same time, regardless of when the server starts, the competition will happen at the same time. It's amazing, a genuinely amazing thing that Fortnite have done. But this is the some of the highlighted names on this listing. You've got A-Track presents Fool's Gold. You've also got Anuja Blocks on there as well. Nice. You've got Bingo Players presents Hysteria. You've got Borgor presents Bygor. You've got Circus Records. You've got Claptone presents The Masquerade. You've got Cut Snakes and Mates. Diplo presents Higher Ground. Dirty Bird are on there. I mean, every line of this, there's a major dance music name. You've got Jamie Jones presents Paradise. You've got Jaws presents Bite This. As well as that, you've got obviously La Fleur. You've also got Toki Monster's Young Art Sound. Looking through these, Mammoth Music Group are on there. I mean, I'm literally reading these off as I go. You can probably see my eyes just scanning across the screen, looking through bits. But Snake Ships are on there as well. I mean, this is an amazing lineup. You've got Zoo presenting a Blacklist on there as well. So, I mean, that's just half the names that I've mentioned there. But this is all happening within Minecraft, within a virtual world. Did you know how mad that is? That they've been able to get all of these people together into this one place at this one time to be online. I mean, I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, looking through it, let's have a see if there's any more information. It's the latest development in the world of virtual festivals, obviously, with Movement Detroit hosting a live stream festival. I mean, live streams are nothing new at this point. We've been seeing them for a while. But a portion of each ticket sold will go to Bye Bye Plastic, an organisation aiming to eliminate single-use plastic for festivals by 2025. Very nice indeed. But those who want to attend, now this is good, those who want to attend but are unfamiliar with Minecraft and how to play it will be able to access a training camp ahead of the festival. So it'll teach you how to play Minecraft as well as getting involved. So there we go, double bubble. I reckon the how to play Minecraft course is definitely worth it, because I don't know how much, it doesn't say on here how much the tickets will be, but I'm sure we'll find out very, very soon. But yeah, it'll be taking place over 3 days as well. Madness. I'm going to give more information on this when it becomes available. I'm going to have to. Right then, let's crack on with another banger then. This one coming from Forward and Dakota 6. Track entitled How. Absolutely loving this one right now. We're going to get into it live here on Cubcam TV. New listeners, please make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Of course, hit like on the video as well. Let us know exactly how you are feeling this morning. I think everyone's in a bit of a somber, unusual kind of mood. There's two major things going on in the world right now with, obviously, COVID-19 and these protests and riots in kind of solidarity with the family of George Floyd and everyone affected by the current scenario. So I think there is a genuine kind of somber feeling around the world at the moment. So we're going to try and play some more uplifting stuff over the course of this show. And in around 15 minutes or so, we will be jumping on the phone with man like XP. Really looking forward to having a conversation with him. So yeah, don't go anywhere. It's Brekky in the Cave.
And I hope that you know I'll be waiting for you to show your love ain't an illusion. You've got a lot to prove, and I hope you find peace of mind, knowing that I'll choose you, and I'll be waiting. Oh, I will 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 be waiting. It's a state of fear. It's a state of fear. You just keep me here. You just pull me back. It's a state of fear. It's a state of fear. You just keep me here. You just pull me back. Oh, how do you make me?
Lovely stuff. Sounds of Dakota 6 on the vocals on this one. Forward on production. Really, really cool tune. Really nice way to start off the week, this one.
Between myself.
I'm not a huge Liquid fan most of the time. It's definitely something that isn't at the top of my kind of my lists when it comes to like genres I would choose. But this one, for some reason, is really sticking out. I really like Dakota's vocals on it, and in general, just the approach she's taken to that to adding that extra layer to this one. I'm seeing a lot of big names support the tune as well, which is always sick to see. Obviously, Dakota was on Brekky in the Cave, Breakfast with COVID when we were still working on Trickstar before the current scenario. So to see obviously to see her progressing and really, really pursuing these bigger tunes. It's sick to see, and I'm a big fan of that one, shall we say. Right then, let's jump into what is likely to be our last news nugget of the day before we get into this conversation with man like XP. This one, a socially distanced festival is taking place in Amsterdam next month. So, bear in mind, Amsterdam hasn't exactly been completely free of the current scenario, but they are going to be taking place in a genuine festival, which will feature social distancing apparently at its finest. So this will be interesting to see. A socially distanced festival is taking place in Amsterdam next month. The program will combine music, art, and fine dining. Dutch collective No Art, founded by Anota, will be taking over Amsterdam's Adam Toren and Sir Adam Hotel to host a socially distanced festival combining music, art, and fine dining on June the 20th. An interesting triplet of features. Attendees to the 24-hour event will also be provided with a room for accommodation, a socially distanced guidelined event, as directed by the RIVM, the National Institute for Public Health and Environment, will be followed. Well, that's what's going to be followed throughout. The program will feature live music, DJ sets, immersive art, and a 3-hour dinner. This is very, very weird. 3-hour dinner. Who eats for 3 hours? 3-hour dinner. I genuinely can't remember a time I've ever sat there for 3 hours in a restaurant scenario. Maybe that's me showing that I'm quite, I'm not really much of someone who will go out and eat as much unless it's for reviews or whatever. But I don't know, I can't remember ever sitting in a restaurant for 3 hours. Guests will obviously experience various areas in groups of 30 before returning to the hotel rooms, which can be capped at a maximum of 4. Each room will have a pro sound system and a smart TV, which will be connected to a live stream from Adam's The Loft Space. As well as that, every hotel room via Zoom will be linked up, so lineup details are still to be announced. So essentially, this is going to have loads of people in the same building, all in their own individual cubes, with tellies linking everything onto the same live stream. Now, I get this, but I don't know, it just seems... The whole point of a festival is that you're going somewhere to be in and around the atmosphere and to see things live. I don't really like the idea of having to travel to do a virtual festival. To me, that really does seem to defeat the point. Now, obviously, I could safely say I'm not someone who is huge on travel. I never really have been. But in general, it's very, very... I think it's bizarre to travel to a hotel to then sit in a hotel room and watch a television of a live stream. That to me is odd. I don't know. I don't really get it. But then obviously you have this 3-hour dinner that goes with it. So who knows? Guests will not be permitted to leave their rooms during the final part of the festival. A mobile bar will journey through the venue to provide refreshments. Tickets will be allocated via a lottery system with pre-registration open via No Art Hotel. Part of the proceeds will be donated to the Netherlands Red Cross Society, and you can read more about it on their Facebook page. So there we go. Interesting. Again, another twist in this sort of tale we're seeing now of numerous different online virtual festivals. That seems to be the theme today. We're seeing it in gaming. We're seeing it also take place quite heavily across other platforms as well. Obviously, we're seeing these live stream events starting to become paid live stream events, which for me, I mean, there's only so interesting a live stream can be, to be honest with you. I think that you're limited on quality, you're limited on what you can actually put out there. At the end of the day, unless stuff is being broadcast via more kind of major networks and things which do have the sort of bandwidth and the capacity to stream at higher capabilities, i.e. like an iPlayer or a I don't know, like a Sky Player, something, one of the online sort of video servers that you can watch, which will stream in full HD regardless of what's going on. Until you kind of are able to hit that kind of level, I think that live streaming is quite limited with what you can do. So I think we are going to start to see things kind of level off, I think, at this point. I mean, people are clamoring to get back outside anyway, especially here in the UK. People seemingly have just completely given up on the idea of lockdown or social distancing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see over the next couple of months what happens and whether we do end up back in a lockdown scenario. But you know what? We talk about lockdown all the time. Let's have a look at another banger before we get into this conversation with XP. Looking through the listing today, this one was a track we were running last week, and it's a tune that I am a massive fan of. This one does come from Africa. This one is Ndeke Solo. We were very lucky to have this one on an exclusive playthrough last week, which means we obviously had it early. We had it a little bit earlier than we were supposed to. They sent it over and said, look, do you want to play this on the show on a regular basis? And I went, yes. So we've been playing it ever since, and yeah, really good stuff. Right then, friends, in about 5 minutes or so, we are going to be jumping onto the line with XP. He's going to be joining us for the next 45 45 minutes or so as we are engaging in a very, very enjoyable early album listen and in general with some good conversation. I'm really looking forward to this one. So don't go anywhere, guys. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button on the top of the page if it's your first time locking in. Hit like on the video as well. The more likes it gets, the more reach it gets. Yeah, we can go from there. So let's get into this one coming from Africa. This one, Ndeke Solo.
The meaning. So, Ndeko Solo mean, my friend, it is true. Time is a gift which we share all the time.
Right then, we're about to jump onto the line with XP. Out to my locked-in crew this morning. Please make sure you are sharing the link. Share it across your socials. Do the retweets and the reposts as well. Let's get some listenership on this one. It's going to be a very exciting conversation. We're going to be talking to him about the album, and we're going to be looking at music for the first time. There's going to be some tunes that are heard for the first time on this show. Exclusive business here on Cubcam TV. That's how we're rocking it these days. Reminder, this one going by the name of Ndeke Solo. Africa on this one. Lovely stuff. Right then, friends, we are back inside the building, and we are now going to be jumping on the phone with today's very special guest. We've got an amazing kind of show on the way. I'm really looking forward to getting into everything. We're going to be talking about XP joins us. How are you doing this morning, my friend?
Yo, I'm good, man. What's been going on, man? Long time.
It's been a long time, man. Yeah, it's been ages since we actually were even putting tunes back and forth. It's been a long time.
It has, I know. It's mainly down to me not being making them, but, I'm back.
That's what I like to hear, man. I mean, obviously, we've got a lot to talk about on this show. Obviously, this is a bit of an early listening party more than anything else, because we're going to be listening through some very exclusive material off the upcoming album, which obviously we don't have an exact release date for it yet, so we're going to be using this as kind of like an early listening party. People are going to be able to kind of lock in, as we can see, and they're going to be basically listening through stuff nice and early, nice and exclusive here on Cubcam TV, and that's how we're doing things these days. We're keeping things exclusive. But yeah, let's start off with a bit of background. Obviously, I like to get a bit of background on our guests, and kind of work out a bit more about them, because it obviously means the music they make makes more sense as we go forward. So, how long have you been making music now?
Cool, a long time now, man. I started out as a DJ. Well, before that, I was playing instruments when I was young, from when I was like 4 or 5 years old. My old man was in a band. He used to play in a band, so I used to go all around with them when they're playing gigs and stuff. So I've always been around music my whole life, really. But I started getting into this side of things probably when I was about 10 or 11.
Okay.
My uncle got me a pair of decks. And I was saving up my little dinner money and that, and going to buy little white label vinyls from the shop.
Proper old school, we're talking here. Proper crate digging.
Yeah, crate digging, man, from early doors, man. I used to even come down. This when I was living in Manny, I used to come down to London to try and go Rhythm Division and buy tunes and shit like that. So bloody hell. Best part of 20 years, mate. Yeah, long time now, man. That's
a madness to kind of... Do you ever kind of look back? Obviously, everyone likes having a bit of nostalgia here and there. Like, do you ever look back on those kind of earlier, more sort of days where it was a lot more about finding the music and the excitement being in that? Do you ever look back and kind of go, oh, I do wish it was still kind of like that?
Yeah, there's obviously, in a way, yeah, because it was fresher and it was just new to the ears, and obviously there was less outside influence. Now there's sort of like, it's the lines are blurred between what is what type of music, and there's a lot of say all this Atlanta type influence and whatever on also, which is not a bad thing in itself, but there was just, I think it was more raw, and I do miss it in a way, but in another way, no one was getting any money, were they? Yeah. So you can't hate on everyone for, it's naturally, it's got to advance, isn't it? So
definitely.
Yes, I know. And there was, I'm sure security's better nowadays as well, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, kind of then looking from that earlier sort of DJ side of things, like, what was the thing that made you kind of like jump into being a mic man rather than the guy behind the decks?
I think I always wanted to do it, bro, but I was just a bit, I don't know, I was a bit shy, man. I was a bit of a shy youth, man. And then I had bars. I always had bars from when I was like 11, 12. I had this little rubbish bars, man. And I used to just spray them occasionally, and then I was building up confidence. I used to give my boy the headphones at the end of the set, and I'd jump on and spray a couple bars about some bloody rubbish or other, man. But yeah, so it naturally just evolved, man. Then I started going to youth club sets. Well, I was already doing youth club sets DJing, but started going to spray like in South Manchester in Wally Range, and that I was all around like Mayhem Crew and this one and that one and Riggs and Shifty and all these kind of people, man. And then just got to spar with the big dogs, man. I was a bit out of my depth early. I think that was good training, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously you were saying like sort of like youth clubs and places like that. Do you feel they're still quite an essential part of a rapper's growth, those sort of earlier environments?
I do think so. I think sets, especially for grime MCs, like you've got to do radio, you have to do sets, you have to spar with MCs. So not only because it keeps you sharp, but it keeps everyone else sharp as well. Like if you're going to like really, I love it when someone says something cheeky on a set. I think, right, I'm coming back for you, and then it's just friendly bit of sparring, isn't it? But I think that's being a bit neglected. Well, I don't know really, to be honest, because obviously I'm a bit of an old man now, but I don't think the kids even do youth club sets anymore. I'm not sure. I don't think they do. I'd have to ask someone that's in the know. But
I mean, with this, obviously, there's so many things we can kind of dive into with it. We could end up being here all day, realistically.
I know.
We could end up being here all day looking into like why youth clubs are being shut down and everything. And I mean, to be honest, it's out there. Like, people are very aware of why youth clubs are getting shut down, and people are kind of losing these places to an extent where you do train, and it's and I think the more people kind of talk about how much kind of came from them in earlier sort of times. Like, we've got a place in Brighton that was a YMCA centre, and this is where so many of the Brighton heads kind of originally started, and now it's not there anymore. And everyone looks back on it in such a like nostalgic way, and we're kind of going like, but what's bringing people through now? What is there to do it? And I mean, as I said, we can go down a rabbit hole with it, but we're here to talk about XP today, so we're not going to.
Yeah, no, slightly less interesting, but I'm here, man.
That's more than interesting, because obviously we're going to be looking at this new album. But when you were kind of moving around in Manny in the sort of earlier sort of periods, like how was grime sort of received up there?
It was crazy, man. It was sick. Everyone was spitting. Everyone. Used to go to literally 500 people at a youth club that's meant to hold like 100. There's people in the ceilings and bloody everywhere. Like, literally, it was the most popping thing I've seen. Like, obviously, I don't come from London, innit, so I wasn't around that scene. But I've never seen nothing like it before or since, man. Like, with everyone clashing, war dubs. It was crazy. It was crazy for a good few years, man. And then it died down a little bit. But there's still a few key main people doing their thing up there. But obviously, music evolves and time changes and all the rest of it. But yeah, it was very well received, I think, as it was around the whole country for a number of years, man.
Definitely. Like, I mean, obviously, the kind of way we first got started speaking was originally through LZ, wasn't it? Through obviously that sort of.
Yeah, he used to live down there, didn't he, in Brighton? Yeah.
So when obviously this sort of like I started to see this sort of formation of MCs getting involved in like a project, and obviously that's something I'll always gravitate to. I love seeing projects starting, like people coming together and building something from scratch. So like, what exactly is / was Burst Gang, and like how does it work?
It started off as a BlackBerry messenger group, believe it or not. We used to just go out and get messed up and that, and then we just had this little Burst Gang, and we used to make a little joke about it. We don't say drunk, no, we say Burst. And then the Hypes wrote that lyric, and then we ended up making a tune about it. And then, it was just a group of friends, really, and that, and not many of them really was MCs. It was me and the Hypes, my Hypes' brothers and that. And LZ, A Tilly, that's like the main MCs, but there's like a bloody 100 man saying Burst Gang like that, just friends and just whatever, associates and whatever, do you know what I mean?
Definitely. So I was going to say, more than anything, like then it's more like a movement, shall we say, and like a phrase and a kind of a group rather than a sort of music specific project.
Yeah, well, yeah, for a music group, we ain't put out very many tunes, so we need to do it. But yeah, I think this year we're gonna put out a little EP and try and get stepping on the momentum of the back of this project what I'm making now.
Amazing, man. I mean, I'm really excited to kind of get into a talk about the project, because I mean, me on this program, I can talk about albums for hours. We can talk about the build up, the general creation. There's so many things we're going to be talking about, as well as the collaborative list, because there's some really cool stuff on here. What we're going to do is we're going to jump into this first tune, which does go by the name of, which one are we going to play first? Let's play Rykard first. Talk to me about this tune.
Okay, yeah, this one's produced by a guy from Manchester called Sangi. He's really, really good producer. He's one of the up-and-coming producers up there. Sangi, big up Sangi every time. And yeah, man, just I gravitated to it first because he sent it to me with the sample, and it's Donnell McIntyre talking about to these kids some documentary that I've seen about the Manchester riots, and I just thought the sample was funny, man. So I had to do something on it, and I just started talking some real shit on it, man. And then one thing led to another, man. I filmed the video for that as well. That's coming, I think, June the 8th on Roscoe Records. So big up Roscoe Records every time. So yeah, man, let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it. Good stuff. We are live on Cubcam TV. This is Brekky in the Cave. XP is on the line. Don't go anywhere. This one going by the name of Rykard.
That's fine. Join in. Get wild. on jewelry, clothes, that's it.
Weed, feel like I don't wanna eat. Try to get down, repeat. All of my bros in the street. I ain't gotta try hard, them man doing all too much die hard. Throw around flake on bike hard, watch man pass it about like right card. Deep, I got a soul what I read. There ain't no go but asleep. All that I know is deceit. I ain't gotta try hard, them man doing all too much die hard. Throw around flake on bike hard, watch man pass it about like right card. Watch man pass it about like right card. Shout OZ, that's my dog. Run chill wave like lifeguard. I tried play the right part, all he ever got was typecast. I'm not an MC, but I write bars. When I come through, that's 5 stars. Yeah, shout out Major, everything minor. I was in bench hill with Tyler, bumping bass, man, Trigger and Spider. I see him put pin to the can, then cigarette ash, then lighter. I'm big on Meridian, big on Ida, still on the ball like Mitre. Chatting my name on social, caught him at a pump at total. Baseball bat, whole bit total, they ain't tryna make no phone call. Fam, I had a big fuck off snowball, mouse tryna make that bogle. I get the bag, yeah, I get the hodl, this one a 10 like Ozil. What? If I don't free up the smoke, who will? Scar up your face like Sil, none of my dons ain't got no chill. Yeah, perception equals reality, fam, what's real? I've got a selection like John Pill, and us man are artists still.
What does your dad think about, you being involved in kind of some of the activities, some of the things which hit the screens? Life, innit? Got a new TV, it'd be sweet, mate.
Weed, feel like I don't wanna eat. Try to get down, repeat. All of my bros in the street. I ain't gotta try hard, them man doing all too much die hard. Grow around flake on bike hard.
Right then, friends, we're back inside the building. That one coming from XP Rykard. We're here to talk about this brand new album project, which, as of today, was originally meant to be released. But as far as I'm aware, there's been a few kind of obvious kind of issues with kind of distribution and stuff like that. Obviously, the world's kind of spinning around on a different axis at the moment, and we don't really know what's going on. But as far as I'm aware, it's still coming very, very soon, isn't it?
Yeah. We're looking probably, well, they still haven't got back to me, the distributors at the moment, but I'm thinking end of June. So it's coming. Do you know what? Just for that, I'm going to add another track on there. So I've got another track in the bag.
There we go.
Mixed in, yeah.
That's what I like to hear. But again, I mean, I think it does. Obviously, the name that we've seen for it is obviously Better Late Than Never. It ties in. Let's be real.
Yeah. It was late already, but yeah, it's even more late now. Yeah, I was. The proper mixtape I put out was bloody hell. I put out I put out an EP in 2016. That's like a long time ago now, man. So yeah, it's long overdue, but yeah, man, just trying to dot the I's and cross the T's, man. But you can't rush these things so much.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I think there's never any point in rushing music out there, and it never does it justice, as far as I'm concerned. There's always it's always worth having a plan and having stuff done properly. So let's kind of talk about it as a project then. So how long has it actually been in the works as a collection of tracks?
Not that long. I was like, it was my boy Blunt made, I think, 4 of the tunes on there. It was originally just going to be me and him. We was going to do an EP. I went to check in. He's from Lancaster. He's a big producer up there. He's really sick at what he does. He's made like 4 of them tunes. Went to link him. I just made them. That was probably about 3-4 months ago. And then, I just thought, and then I think a couple of artists in the game that I told me just treat their listeners with a bit of respect and give them an album, innit? Give them some long form listening thing, what sort of does me justice a little bit. So that's what I tried to do, man. Tried to give them a little bit extra than just a single or a couple of tracks, and yeah, you know what I mean? I'm trying to put something together that tells my story, and yeah, little cohesive little projects and that, but it's easier said than done, as we know. Definitely,
man. So, like, when you were kind of like working on the recording for like different bits, then like, what's the kind of recording setup you're using at the moment? Do you record at home, or do you go? Is there a studio you kind of go to on a regular basis?
Now I've got my friend Bandicoot Studios. It's based just outside North London, just in Hertfordshire. That's where I'm recording at the moment, man. So yeah, very good setup he's got there, man. Everyone's like, quite a few good people pass through there. Everything's good, man. So yeah, I've just been recording there, man. And Record everything, mix everything, so just keeping it stepping.
That's good, man, that's good. I always find as well, when you have like a place that you go on a regular basis or a setup you're used to, the projects tend to get stronger every time, and the recordings tend to get, because you have a synergy with the setup, like you understand the room more. Like, have you found that happening with where you are now?
Yeah, 100%. I felt more confident experimenting with different stuff. Like, I've been singing quite a bit on this project, like different stuff and melodies and stuff which I thought I would do until a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I just, just experimenting, and just the more you're being in the vibe of being around musicians and studio is just good for me generally. Like, it's just good. It's like you get better being around it more. So I'm trying to spend more time in the studio, and lo and behold, the craft gets a little bit better every time, man. So just got to keep it going.
Definitely. Like, so in regards to like the time frame, then, how long have you known that this is going to be the track listing?
It changes daily, man, I'll be honest. I've had probably about 2 months now, but then I make another tune. I'm like, I could squeeze that on there. I've dropped a couple of them as a single. I've dropped one of them as a single just because of all this messing around. I thought, keep everyone happy. I've dropped, that's out now, actually. That's out now on Roscoe Records, Got No Time.
Okay.
That's out, one of the first. So the first singles was already out, man. Just a little compensation, man. Little my gratitude for everyone's patience. But
wicked, man. So talk to me about this collaboration then. How did it come together? Because obviously it's with Manchester Hype. So we're going to get into it in just a second. Talk to me about this tune.
It's my boys that I grew up with, man. It's Guilt on the beat, man. Like Guilt, M14, he's big producer from Manchester. Big Hypes, man. Taught me everything I know, man. Had to get Hypes on the first single on there. And my boy No ID's on the hook. He's just brand new on the rap team, man. So it's just got the boys from back in the day, and just had to keep it. I'm trying to keep the project as organic as possible, and so naturally I had to just get my day ones on there, man.
Awesome. Like when you're working with these sort of like original circles, then how do you find the kind of atmosphere? Is it still the same as it's always been?
Oh yeah, of course, man. Yeah. It's like we seen each other yesterday, but we might not see each other every day. But it's always the same vibes, man.
That's right.
But we need to give them some more music, man, because we don't see each other that often. It's always tends to be get left to the sidelines, but now we need to make some time this time, man, and start banging out a couple of tunes here.
Awesome, man. Well, we're going to get into this one now. We're live on Cubcam TV. This is Brekky In The Cave. If it's your first time listening in, please do hit the subscriber button. Obviously, we're going to be live Monday to Friday for the foreseeable future. We did see the June announcement drop on socials this week, and you can see it's going to be some amazing guests on the way. But right now, we're talking to XP. Let's get into this one. Got No Time featuring Manchester Hypes.
Grind so hard, he ain't got no time. Grind so hard, he ain't got no time. Margie says he ain't got no mind. Wifey says he ain't got no time. I ain't got time, come on, it's on mine. Line on my line, I'm pushing it fine. No run on mine, I'm pushing it fine. Ain't got time, come on, it's on mine. So I don't mind, I'm giving it time. Grind so hard, he ain't got no time. Margie says he ain't got no mind. Wifey says he ain't got no time. I ain't got time, come on, it's on mine. Line on my line, I'm pushing it fine. No run on mine, I'm pushing it fine. Ain't got time, come on, it's on mine. I don't mind, I'm giving it time. When I'm attacking the cattle cat perch off in the bullpit. Henny and Doggy to get in my body and burst off like a full clip. It's like everybody's got a whap until the worst off with the school split. Niggas dying for the clout bad, but I'm bird box to the bullshit. See him chilling with the same niggas say they're done with. Never did I say a gang bang, but it's gang who I come with. Heard it where they wanna test now, you can get stretched out like lunges. No matter what, man can't say I didn't keep it 100. But I told him I ain't got time, so don't be out here wasting mine. I'll check you back, talk about backs. I ain't got yours if you ain't got mine. Everybody knows that the stage show's mine. Stay so grind from radio times. On job, watch the payroll rise. Broke niggas get paid, no mind. Burst. Grind so hard, he ain't got no time. Margie says he ain't got no mind. Wifey says he ain't got no time. I ain't got time, come on, it's on mine. Line on my line, I'm pushing it fine. No run on mine, I'm pushing it fine. Ain't got time, come on, it's on mine. So I don't mind, I'm giving it time.
eaters. Timeless album, don't need features. Ain't got drip, my flow got liters. And all my bros got beaters. Pull up on man like, yes, my genius. Make an MC do 100 meters. I don't believe in Jesus. See this flow, it's 1,000 gram on Tanitas. Them man don't weigh too much. X on mic, that's way too much. Come get this work, I don't play too much. Gal said I fuck with the A too much. He's not bad, that you's a performer. Can't warn me, get blew out the water. How's our kid talking about labels? He got signed for a 2 1/4. Got no time. Gunman talk, but it's not 09. Man don't care about a pop cosign. Clash me in your head, top go flying. Talking like say it's Rondo 9. If I back it out, mate, man, it's Zonto live. Well, I'm way too dark. None of my ops never got no shine. Burst.
Grind so hard, he ain't got no time. Margie says he ain't got no mind. Wifey says he ain't got no time. I ain't got time, come on, it's on mine. Line on my line, I'm pushing it fine. No winner on mine, I'm pushing it fine. Ain't got time, come on, it's on mine. So I don't mind, I'm giving it time.
Yo, this is Ellie Sabine Singh, and you're listening to Breakfast with KXVU.
Afternoon, my friends. Good evening, good morning, whatever the time of day you are watching this video. We're back on the line with man like XP here on Brekky In The Cave. We're looking through the brand new project, Better Late Than Never. That one there coming from him and Manchester Hypes, an absolute banger going by the name of Got No Time. Let's talk about kind of beat selection and producers. Like, how many producers have been involved in the project?
I think, what's it, Guilt, Blunt, Starkey, there's 4 producers all together. They're all just people that I know, man. They're all just friends of mine. The only one I don't really know is Starkey. He's a producer from America, but he's like a friend of a friend, so I got sort of introduced to him, and that track's already out. Like, that's the only track that people would have heard that's on the album. That's Keeping It All Up, but that out sort of the end of last year. All the rest of it, I think half of it was made by my boy Blunt, like I said, and then Sangi, and then Guilt, who made that one there. So yeah, just like quite a close-knit sort of group, trying to keep it sort of organic sounding as possible, man.
Definitely, man. I think that very much rings true in the sound as well. It's a very cohesive body of work, but also there obviously are different producers getting involved. Like, how important do you think that that kind of having that circle of like friends who are also musicians around you is?
Yeah, it is handy, man. It's handy when you need beats and that. Yeah, definitely. Because, I don't know. A lot of these, like, I don't like working over the internet if possible. It's with some exceptions, yeah, when there's no other way around it. But I would much rather just sit down with one of my friends and we can build a beat and we can pick the samples and everything's just all in-house and we don't have to just be shopping about, you know what I mean?
Definitely, man. I think it's wicked to see because obviously, as I was saying with Burst, I like seeing these kind of projects come together, and I like the fact that you have kind of got this group who kind of worked almost on the album all together, if you know what I mean. It's almost like a team involved.
Yeah, I big up Blunt really every time, because he's the reason I was even doing it. I wasn't really in the mood to be putting anything out. He sort of got on my case and was like, right, I've got these beats. He's back on it, so just sort of give me a bit of hunger to keep going, you know what I mean? So I big up Blunt every time, man. But yeah, no, it's good. And then Hypes just said, I've got to be on there. He happened to just have this idea for this tune, so it all just fell into place like really quickly, to be honest. And then Sangi heard I was making an album. He's like, yo, I've got these beats, quick. So bam, it was all just pretty easy, man. It sounds like probably easier than it was, but yeah, it was all just yeah, it all just seems to fall into place pretty quickly, man. So I was like, I prefer to I think all the better music really comes like that, rather than when you're slaving away for hours on end, and it feels sort of like hard work. Do you know what I mean?
It feels almost like labour to an extent.
Yeah, like you're going to graft to every day 9 a.m. studio and that. Right now, it wasn't even none of that. It all just popped into place, man. So. Yeah, just to thank the gods, man, because they were smiling. It all just seemed to happen.
I mean, that's sick to see. Like when you're kind of choosing like beats to use, then obviously you have got this kind of closer kind of circle of producers that you'll tend to like gravitate towards. But like, what is it that about an instrumental that makes you want to get involved with it?
It's just a feeling, innit? And if as soon as I hear the beat, I'll have bars in my head if it's a beat that resonates with me. Like even there's things like there's something on there. There's a tune that's me and Marcus Dave on there. It's just a piano really and a kick drum, and so there's not an awful lot to it, but it was just the vibe, and it just caught me. And yeah, if I find myself into it within the first 8 seconds, then it's a winner. Do you know what I mean?
Wicked, man. Well, let's have a chat about this tune with Merkage Dave then, because obviously he's on a very kind of unique approach with what he does musically. He's got a very kind of recognisable tone to his sort of style. Like, how did that link up come together?
I've known Dave for years, man. Dave used to live in Manny. He lived in Manny for like 12, 13 years, I think. He went uni up there and that. So I used to see Dave. He used to put, that's how he got his name, innit? Merkage Dave. He used to put on these nights called Merkage. So this was going back to like, 2006, 2007, 2008, all them times there. He used to put on these nights and that. And yeah, they had that little crew going on up there, and he brought me on quite a few things. He's a little curator for Manchester for a little bit. He used to put me on little events and stuff. So I've known him for a long time, man. But I didn't even know he was that sick until not even long ago, brother. I was like, I didn't like a single nothing, because he never told me, innit? He just, he was just puttering away, and then one day I heard him playing piano and singing. I was like, whoa.
How quick was the call? How quick was the call as soon as you saw it to go, right, we're making music together?
No, it was a couple of years still. This is only recently now, but it's just really good to see where he's come with it. And that album, his album, is just one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite albums I've ever heard in my life. I think it's an amazing bit of work.
Amazing, man. I mean, that's kind of high praise then. But like, as we're onto the subject of it, like with your sort of influences and stuff like that. Before we get into this one, like, what would you say, like, album wise, have been big inspirations for you over the years?
Oh man, there's bear.
Every single morning I try to find one of these questions, and I find it every time.
Yeah, no, obviously there's really ones that stand out. Is like both the Streets' albums, because it's like tells a story, and that, especially Grand Don't Come Free, it all tells a story and ties up. I think to do that with an album, ridiculous, ahead of its time and stuff. I like Dave's work. I like Santan Dave's work. There's bear, man. There's bear. Kano's, both his albums, the last 2 albums, amazing. There's loads, man. Obviously, Jay Huss's new one, Fire. There's just bear. Right now, it's just a really good time to be a musician from our side of things, because there's just so much things to be inspired by that.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
I definitely feel right now we are in somewhat of a golden era musically in the UK. I definitely think we are of kind of seeing people really take things into their own hands in regards to the sounds they're making. Like I've said this a lot of times recently. Like, if you go and look through the charts and look through what is classed as pop now, it doesn't sound like pop. It sounds like what we would be listening to anyway a lot of the time.
Yeah, sounds like Read FM.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Trust me, man, the best. Yeah, we're definitely living through one of them times you're gonna look back on in the future and say, "Oh yeah, man, in the 20s."
That was the one. Right then, let's get into this tune then. This one is XP alongside Merkage Dave with Sometimes, again produced by Blunt. This one is on the forthcoming album, Better Late Than Never. We're live on the line with XP right now. One time, what is the best social media tag for people to get hold of you on? Like, what's the best platform?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram, man. It's XP_Burstgang on both platforms, man.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer?
Twitter. I prefer Twitter because I'm not really on this posing thing, man. I'd rather hear what someone's got to say. You know what I mean? Not what they have for dinner, man. You know. The maddest thing is, Twitter is by far my favourite out of all of them. Twitter is my favourite, but yet it's the one where I've got the smallest following. How mad is that? Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe I know. You're too opinionated, man.
Right, that's enough of that. Let's play some music. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're live on Cubcam TV.
Sometimes, every day the meaning, the success it redefines, yeah. And I never see them signs when we're talking in the kitchen, not to read between the lines. Yeah. Tell me what's the deal when you're mixing up the messages. I don't know how to feel, but I swear I need them lies, cause it's hard to keep it real. Sometimes. Sometimes it all feels like a battlefield. A man's out there on front lines. Giving up, got liquored up till sunrise, and I swear down I don't give a fuck. Still picking up at them dumb times. Yeah. Tried talk, got tongue-tied. Truth ain't quite black and white, and you only ever saw one side. Building up till it subsides, but real talk now, mum's life, I've been fucked up from a cuz died. Yeah, life's not like Disney, out there like Gypsy, so miss me, would you miss me? Skin tea, cause beauty is just skin deep. Flipped out on Whitney, then dipped out like Rich Tea. Same one, Jake one, tipsy. Built up for a broke down, man, smoke loud just to lift me. Nah, can't open up, it's too risky and it's real life. But sometimes I just feel like it ain't in me and it's mad. Sometimes, every day the meaning, the success it redefines, yeah. And I never see them signs when we're talking in the kitchen, not to read between the lines. Yeah. Tell me what's the deal when you're mixing up the messages. I don't know how to feel, but I swear I need them lies, cause it's hard to keep it real. Sometimes, going through the motions trying to imitate. 6 of 1, give or take. On the states, a winner state. Countless nights I've been awake. Had my heart all pouring out. Turned me to a cynic, mate. Cause now you're trying to draw me out in ways I'll never illustrate. Shouting off your mountain, bunning loud in silence. All trying to pressure, man. You thought it would amount to diamonds. I'm searching bottles for the monsters like I'm about to find them. True, he was dragged up on drink, drugs, domestic violence. Ducking for them plain clothes, running with them scapegoats. Life give me lectures, but I ain't trying to take notes. I spent all them nights up, but now I'm trying to stay woke. Every day I'm waved though, but true, we're in the same boat. Not bad, yeah, you alright? Yeah, alright. Still awake, can't do sleep, been 2 weeks like fortnight. Man smoke and snort white and drink till I can't talk right. Can't think when I thought right, and you never know when it's your time, but more time. Sometimes.
Right then, friends, we're back inside the building. That one coming from XP and Merkage Dave. Something very, very different. And what we were discussing off air just then for a second was, we're kind of looking into, like, when you're building an album like this, I feel it's very important to have kind of tunes like this that do kind of give you a kind of different approach, and they allow you to show something different about the way you make music as well.
Yeah, well, I thought it's because I make grind. Everyone knows what I do. I make grind tunes. I've been doing this for years and years and years. But I'd rather in my old age give them a little bit of what I've been through as a person, rather than and try and push myself in a different direction. And Blunt give me that. It's just a loop really with a kick drum, and just the way it's just simple but so effective at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Well, I thought anyway.
Definitely, man. I mean, this one's quite in the way it's kind of put together as well. It's got that introspective element to it. It's got the more kind of melodic element, obviously, with that lead piano. Like with these tunes, have you kind of thought out how you're going to do them, perform them live when in about 1,000 years we are allowed to go back into raves?
I know. Yeah, I've actually had a couple of things like live session things booked in. I was there's a couple of tunes on there where I could. I've got a couple of people that are pretty nifty on the piano, so I could hail them up and do a little live show still, but it's getting a wheeling in the piano, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you could do the whole thing where the thing they do at the end of jazz like recitals, where they just run their finger up the whole piano as a wheel up. I suppose you could do that. I mean, it's sick to see, and I think
downgrade to the chord keyboard now.
we're gonna end up with the little like the one that only has 2 octaves on it. The one you used to have in like in school music tech classes.
Oh, the little Casio.
Yeah, the little Casio one. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Anyway,
let's man. No, we'll still do a job, man.
Right, let's kind of move forward then. Like overall with the project, are you kind of happy with it, like sonically and how it's come together?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've tried to give them a bit of everything I can do. Well, yeah, that I've all the skills I've just unlocked so far. I tried to throw them into one project and hit them with some melodies and hit them with little slow flows and some obviously grime on there. And yeah, so I think so. Yeah, you can always. I'm never happy with anything. This is my problem. So I could sit here all day and self-analyze and pick little things and all that, but then we'd never put anything up, man. So yeah, I'll just trying to keep it moving and on to the next one, and it won't be so long this time, so hopefully end of the year I'll have another project out, and just trying to add a couple of feathers to my cap, man.
Definitely. I think as a project, like obviously having listened to it in full, I definitely think it's a very well-rounded collection of tunes, and I think it's a good representation of you as an artist in general. And as I said, I think tunes like this, with sometimes obviously with Merkage Dave, obviously more stripped back, a lot more, less about that kind of the almost party atmosphere that you tend to have on a lot of the more grimy recordings. They tend to be like a feel of a DJ could run this in a rave and it would do bits, whereas this, obviously, it's nice to kind of see the full spectrum, I feel.
I try and give them a bit of everything. It's not because lads, we all know it's not all parties and fun and games, is it, man?
No, definitely.
Give them a little bit of the other side of the coin as well, man. So
right, kind of moving forward then, obviously we've got about 10 minutes left of this, so I want to make sure we get as much out of it as possible. We're going to run a couple more bangers still, but what would you say the thing you've learnt the most is since putting this project you've learnt the most, but during the putting together of the project?
I think more to do with how to write, singing choruses and stuff like that, what I never really tried to do until probably that tune I put out with Starkey. That's the first one I think I did. Oh no, I did a couple of tunes like this. Back in the day, I used to use the auto-tune. I've got a couple of tunes with Press T and that where I've done the auto-tune thing because I've never done it before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I'm trying to sort of not use that, because then what are you going to do when you go to perform the song? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So I'm trying to keep, like, even the recording, I try and engineering-wise, I try and keep it as raw as a recording as possible. A lot of the songs I do in one take. Like, I do one take all the way through the whole song. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So I try, it's almost like a live performance that I'm doing, and I just record it. It's like a live album almost, but it's not really. But yeah, I've just, just different recording techniques and what suits me, and yeah, man, just getting reacclimatized to studio environment, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. I think as well, what I think will happen off the back of this is, because it feels like you very much found like a bit of you found like a way of putting stuff together that works. You know what I mean? You found like a routine, you found a rhythm when it comes to putting together these tunes. So I think after this, what's likely going to happen for you is you are going to find yourself making music more and more and more, purely because you've got the formula now.
That's it. Yeah, I think and I'm enjoying it again. I had a little time where I wasn't really enjoying it. It was I felt like.
Oh, one sec. I think we've lost him, but what we're going to do is we're going to bring him back. I think we have lost him, so let's jump back on. We're live on Brekky In The Cave right about now. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to reconnect in just a second. As we call it, these are the what we call these the what we call them, the Brecknicles at this point. Let's try and do another ring back, see if we can get in contact. Hopefully we can. As I said before, please do subscribe to the channel, hit like as well. There we go, we're back on the line.
Yo, Christ, I don't know what happened.
No, you know what it is? We call them Brecknicles.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. We call them Brecknicles on this show.
Brecknicles, gremlins.
Proper gremlins. But yeah, we were what were we saying a second ago? We were kind of saying like you finding your rhythm. That was it.
Yeah, I was just getting back acclimatized to the studio environment, and yeah, just generally finding where I fit in, man. Just enjoying it again. Yeah, just trying to enjoy myself when I'm in there.
Definitely, man. It's sick to see, and I think as well, what the interesting kind of thing of this is as well, obviously moving to London from Manny for yourself, and obviously having a lot of the collaborations being with the sort of original crew you were with. Like, how have you found that transition to be?
Yeah, it's good, man. Well, I was lucky because when I moved down here, I had a few mates that did the music and that anyway, so they brought me, because really and truly, I probably wasn't really coming down to do music or nothing, and then I got invited to really Mode FM. I got brought to Mode FM a few times, and I just sort of got the passion and the love for it again. So I'm lucky in that respect, man. I was like, my boy Doughboy used to bring me to the radio, and I've just been lucky, really, bro. I just bumped into the right people, and I think everything just happens for a reason. So yeah, I've been steered back the musical path, man. So yeah, here we are.
That's what I like to hear. So obviously we're going to play one more tune off the album. We've got about 6 minutes left, so we're going to run a tune, and that'll be how we finish up. But what's kind of the plans for the future then? Like, obviously the album's going to be dropping very soon. What's next? What's next on the schedule?
I've got an EP with my boy Dizmac, very, very, very talented songwriter, rapper from Northampton. That is all produced by a guy called Trolley Snatcher. He's former dubstep producer. But
wow! That's a big name to have on the production credit.
Yeah, man, he made all the beats, man. So yeah, it's like Dizmac introduced me to him, and he's just fire, bro. He's just he's ridiculous with it. So yeah, it's another one. We just all went in there. We had 2 sessions, I think. 2 sessions, and then we've just got an EP there. We're just waiting, because obviously all of this palaver, we're waiting to film videos. So as soon as we can get back out there, we're gonna film all the videos, and that'll be, I reckon, probably next month or maybe the month after, maybe July, August. That'll be dropping. So that's coming, and just working on the next album, man. I think, I don't know where I'm gonna go with it, but I'd probably want to try and just book out a studio and get different producers to come down and just work it like that on a face-to-face thing, man. So try and outdo myself, man, onwards and upwards.
That's what we like to hear, man. I tell you what, dude, it's been a real pleasure having you on the line this morning. In regards again to sort of socials, one more time, what's the best place to get at you?
Likewise, man. Thanks for having me, bro. It's XP_BurstGang on Instagram and Twitter, man. I'm there.
That's what I like to hear. So we're going to finish up by playing this one. It goes by the name of Smoke and Mirrors. It's produced by Jay Creator. Talk to me about this tune just before we finish up.
Oh, big up Jay Creator, man. It's actually Jay Bobs from Birmingham. I forgot about Jay. We got Jay. He's actually the owner of Word on Road TV, if you remember Word on Road TV.
Oh, wow. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was a channel from the Midlands back in the day, man. But he's making beats now, man. Jay Creator. So, yeah, go check him out. He's doing bits, man. And, this is another one that I went in there and recorded. I didn't actually write this, man. I just recorded it. It's, just all popped in and it's all come out. It was very easy work, man. So but big up Jay Creator. The sample, I can't remember what he sampled, but I love it. I remember the original tune, man. So big up Jay. And this one, Smoke and Mirrors, man.
Amazing, man. Well, we look forward very keenly to seeing the official drop of the album. It's been really fun to kind of listen for a few of these tunes nice and early. Dude, it's been a pleasure. We'll speak soon.
Thanks for having me, man. Big up. Bless every time. Love.
No worries. Let's get into this one then, and then we will be finishing up. We're live on Cubcam TV. Brekky In The Cave. We'll be back same time tomorrow morning, where we're going to be joined by Das Capital and Primitive Audio. We're going to be talking to, I believe, Halux and Eloquin from there. So, don't go anywhere. We're going to run this one to finish off the show. So, keep it locked. Peace.
Leave so broken, the voting's fixed, 10 toes up in the golden bliss, Leave so broken, the voting's fixed, 10 toes up in the golden bliss, Years won't feel like minutes. Try put it all in dimmers. Smoke and mirrors, so smoke and mirrors. Leave so broken, the voting's fixed, 10 toes up in the golden blitz, Years won't feel like minutes. Try put it all in dimmers. Smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. I just do me, I don't know about them. Fucked in the head since I was about 10. Try be Zen, but he want X from back then. Alright then, fling on the gloves like Nigel Benk. I don't beg friend, free up my G's in pen. Trust me family, it's gonna work out in the end. Aye, roller coaster, say less like Costa Nostra. Roads are colder than Nova Scotia, gotta make it flip just like Motorola. Always Coca-Cola, give a fuck about a show promoter. Them MCs got no composure, my flow hot like a stolen motor. What? Thought I was dead, started praying to myself, but there's no one listening. Pen come with a grip that's crippling, business and pleasure they weren't quite mixing. These MCs all mumbling, big in Dublin, try get it tripling. Put my boys in the ground, still miss them, funny I don't quite seem so distant. Trust. Leaves all broken, the voting's fixed, 10 toes up in the cold and blitz, Years won't feel like minutes. Try put it all in dimmers. Smoke and mirrors, it's all smoke and mirrors. Leaves so broken, the voting's fixed, 10 toes up in the cold and blitz, Years won't feel like minutes. Try put it all in dimmers.
smoke and mirrors. Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Big, bad and heavy, I was with Ross in Levy. I remember when the ounce of skunk was 120 and I might put a knife to a man for a celly. My man sent me, just got a call saying my man's Brekky, but I can't set him up, it's too techie. Man can't drink if man can't bevy. Don's in leash, treat me like Don Revy. Shut down niche, talk stiff man, treat me like Dalglish. I was in Weiss in the Berghouse fleece, now bare airnars one try get peace. But I ain't bothered again, so got begged and borrowed and lent. YG talking smoke on IG, well done my G, what an event, what an event. I was so high, what a descent. Kai touched road and he got him again. Man at the point, I forgot what I meant. I was with Kilo Dan on Rivers, JSA Mel signing jiggers. Now man spray champagne like winners, but trust me family, it's smoke and mirrors, mad, yeah.
Leaves all broken, the voting's fixed, oh yeah. 10 toes up in the cold and blitz, oh yeah. Years won't feel like minutes, try put it all in dimmers. Smoke and mirrors, yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. Leaves all broken, the voting's fixed, oh yeah. 10 toes up in the cold and blitz, oh yeah. Years won't feel like minutes, try put it all in dimmers. Smoke and mirrors, yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm it's all smoke and mirrors. Best times you gotta rotate, try to see it shimmers. That's my jitters, that's my jitters, that's my jitters. Smoke and mirrors.